lying to yourself if you say that you can't lose weight for X reason. The truth is, you can lose weight, but you are convincing yourself that somehow, for you only, weight loss is impossible. And you have many excuses and reasons for why it is impossible for you to lose weight. Meanwhile, other people are doing it perfectly fine. What those excuses and reasons are for why you can't lose weight are really just lies. So today we're going to talk about the 10 lies you tell yourself that are keeping you fat. Starting with number 1, I don't have time. The truth, you make time for what matters. If you can binge watch your favorite show on Netflix or scroll through social media for 2 hours, you have time to meal prep or squeeze in a small workout. There are plenty of really fit, really busy people who still make time to work out. You are not the only busy person in this world. There are plenty of people who work and take care of kids and do all of the above and still make time to stay fit. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying that you don't have a harder time than others. But if other people in similar situations to you, or even worse situations than you, can do it, you can do it too. The thing is, many people want to believe that getting fit or losing weight takes so much time and it's so hard, when honestly, sometimes all it takes is just doing what you can. So if you only have time for a 10-minute workout, you do it. If you only have time to prep a few meals this week instead of all of your meals, you do it. You make it a priority. You do what you can. You do the best with the time you have, and you make the best decisions that you can in that time. For example, if you don't have time today to meal prep your lunch, that's not an excuse for you to run through McDonald's, order the biggest burger on the menu, plus a milkshake, plus a large fry, simply because you didn't have time today to make lunch. If you didn't have time today to make lunch and you have to get lunch elsewhere, then you order something healthy. You go to a place that serves healthy food. And if they don't serve healthy food, you pick the healthiest thing on the menu, or you wait until you do have time to go and find something healthier. The truth is, time isn't the issue. Your priorities are. Being busy is not an excuse to not try. Not if losing weight is actually something you want to do. Lie number 2, I can't live without sweets, or I can't live without insert your favorite food. How many times have you told yourself this before? Oh, I could never live without my chocolate. No, life would be meaningless if I couldn't have a dessert every single day. I could never live without pizza. The more you tell yourself that you can't live without these foods, the more you're telling yourself that it is impossible for you to have control over your hunger and your cravings. The more control you are giving to X food, whether it's pizza or sugar or wine or whatever it is that you like to eat. The reality is, the more you admit to being addicted to these foods or to not being able to live without them, the more you are reinforcing this belief that you can never be a healthy eater. You can never lose weight because you can't say no to pizza. You just can't say no to the sweets. You may not even be intentionally doing this to yourself. You may be just joking, like, oh, I could never live without chocolate. Like, oh no, I die tomorrow if I couldn't have a piece of chocolate every single day. But see, the thing is, your subconscious doesn't know that. Your body doesn't know that. So if you are telling yourself, oh, I'll literally die without chocolate, that's going to make it harder and harder for you to actually give up chocolate. Now, I always say, it's not that you never can eat these things ever again in your life. You can. But if chocolate doesn't align with your goals right now, then it's not the best food choice. Sometimes losing weight and getting healthy requires you to do things that you don't want to do. It requires you to give up what you want now for what you want eventually. I get it. Chocolate's awesome. Pizza's awesome. I love that stuff too. If I could eat that stuff every single day and not gain weight, I would too. But the reality is, I couldn't. If I ate pizza and chocolate every single day, I would keep eating that stuff until kingdom come. And then guess what? I would not be where I am right now. I would have a completely different body. I would not be happy with myself or my life. So I make this decision to be harder on myself now, to discipline myself now, so that I can have what I want in the future. Pizza and chocolate is awesome. But the truth is, you can live without it if you really wanted to. And it's not the end of the world if you have to take a break from some of your favorite foods for a while until you reach your goal. But let's be real. I know that this is very hard to do, especially if you are used to eating this stuff every single day and you've never once taken a break from it. That's why I think, especially for beginners, it is easier for you to ease into healthier eating on a weight loss plan than cutting everything off cold turkey or doing something super restrictive, which is why I like using Simple app. So I admit it is hard getting back back on track. Sometimes when you have had a period where you are out of your routine, like for me personally, just recently, I had my wedding, which was basically 2 weeks of family, food, and drinks. It was basically 2 weeks of inconsistency in both my diet and my workouts. It's crazy how just 2 weeks off can make it harder for me to jump back into my normal workout routine. Same thing with my diet. I found myself mindlessly snacking on leftovers and foods and things that I wouldn't normally eat. The worst part was that it wasn't even laziness. I think it's that I just didn't know where to start. Like, should I jump into an aggressive workout plan? Should I just amp up my steps? Should I focus on my diet? And honestly, I think that this is where a lot of people stay stuck because it's that indecision paralysis. Like, where do I start? What do I do? That's actually why I started using the Simple app again. I like that it doesn't just throw you into some extreme plan right away. It walks you through a quick quiz and builds a plan for you based on your lifestyle, your routine, everything. So it doesn't feel like you're just starting over blindly. I've been using it to get back into my routine without having to overthink everything. Before my wedding, I was working out consistently, like 5 to 6 times a week, plus getting my steps in, plus being really good with my diet. But jumping straight back into that again hasn't been super easy, which is why I've been using Simple to help me ease my way back into that same routine. Like, I'll log my meals on the app and it will give me ideas on how I can improve my diet, but not be perfect, which has been really helpful for me right now. And the workouts are super doable too. Like, even on days where I just don't feel like doing anything, I'll just do a quick workout just to stay consistent. I like that it keeps track of all my meals and workouts in one place. It makes it easier for me to reflect on later. I also like that they have gamify the check-in system. Blinky notifies you daily to log your workouts and meals, which helps me stay consistent. Using Simple makes weight loss actually feel sustainable, like something you can stick to in real life, which is especially great for beginners. For me, it just made getting back on track feel simple again. I feel less overwhelmed in decision making and let Simple guide the way. So if you're in that phase right now where you're like, I need to start, but I don't know how, check out the link below where you can take the quiz and get 80% off your personalized plan using my code Whitney. Now, jumping back into the lies that you are telling yourself that is keeping you from losing weight is lie number 3. I'm too old. Listen, whether you are 30 or 60, your body is capable of making change. Plenty of people start their fitness journey later in life and thrive. The only thing stopping you is your mindset. I have seen this with people in my personal life complaining that they're too old to do XYZ. They're too old to walk 10 miles. They're too old to start a healthy routine and to build muscle. The thing is, it's just not true. It's simply not true. You are doubting yourself before you even try. If you are telling yourself that, oh, it's too late for me, I can't do XYZ because I'm too old, you're only sabotaging your success. The body achieves what the mind believes. Now, look, of course, we can't fight basic biology. It is true that as we age, we lose muscle mass. We're not as limber as we used to be. If you're 70 years old and out of shape, yeah, you're probably not going to be running a marathon in the Olympics anytime soon. But you know what? I guarantee you that if you trained, if you did the smart, healthy way, you could build yourself up to walking or running a marathon if you really wanted to. But honestly, you don't even need to go that extreme. If you are able-bodied right now, no matter what your age, you can pick up some dumbbells and start exercising. You can get your steps in. You start small where you are with what you have. Maybe it will feel harder for you because of your age, or it may take you longer, but that's not the same as being impossible. There are plenty of examples of older people, both men and women, who are super fit and thriving in life right now. Being older doesn't mean that you can't start something new. Being older doesn't mean that you are incapable of changing your life and your body. It's an obstacle, but it's not an automatic death sentence. Give yourself more credit. I'm sure you have a lot more energy and spunk than you think you do. Lie number 4, it's my slow metabolism. Now look, metabolisms can vary, but it's not an unchangeable life sentence. You can boost your metabolism through strength training, diet, and staying active. Blaming your metabolism is just another way of avoiding the hard work. Because here's the thing, unless you have actually gone to a doctor and you have determined that your metabolism is unusually low or you have some kind of condition that really does affect your metabolism, I guarantee you that your metabolism is fine. And this idea that some people just have superhuman metabolisms and that's why they can eat and do whatever they want and you just look at a piece of cake and you gain weight is just not true. Like I said, for sure, metabolisms can vary, but they don't vary that much. This has been proven. Your metabolism is not the reason you're not losing weight. I guarantee you it is something else. Blaming your metabolism is just an excuse to not try. Lie number 5. I barely eat anything and I still can't lose weight. Well, that's because you're eating more than you think. This is directly related to lie number 4, like we were just talking about, the metabolism thing. People want to believe that it is not their actions or their lack of action that is causing them to gain weight. It's something else. It's a slow metabolism. It must be their hormones because they barely eat anything and they're still gaining weight or they still can't lose the weight, when the reality is they're doing something wrong and they just don't know what that is yet. And one of the most common things I see with people who claim that they have a slow metabolism or it's their hormones or they're barely eating anything and they can't lose the weight is that in reality, they don't know how to accurately track their calories and they don't know how to accurately track how much calories they are burning. I've seen this time and time again where people really just don't understand calories when it comes to their diet. I have heard all kinds of things like, well, it's healthy food. So healthy food, that means that the calories don't count if you're eating something healthy. Like I guess 100-calorie apple doesn't count for your daily caloric intake because it's an apple. But if it was candy, it would count. That's just not true. Calories are calories. Whether you're eating healthy or not, at the end of the day, fat loss comes down to a calorie imbalance. You have to be eating less calories than you're taking in, burning more calories than you're taking in to lose weight. So whether you eat an apple or a pizza, the calories matter the same. I've also seen people just not really understand how to track calories. They guess at it. So they take a piece of pizza, look at it, oh, well, there's no pepperoni on it. So I guess the piece of pizza is only 100 calories. Like I've seen crazy things, okay, where people are literally guessing at calories and then at the end of the day go, well, I don't know why I'm not losing weight because I only had XYZ today and that was only 300 calories. So technically I should be losing weight. When in reality, they probably had closer to like 2,500 calories, and that's why they're not losing weight. I think this is especially common when people who they are eating very little or barely anything portion-wise, volume-wise, calorically-wise, though, they're eating a lot more than they think. And this just comes down to a lack of understanding of what is actually in their food, how many calories things actually are. So for example, maybe you didn't eat anything all day, and then you had, the bacon ranch salad from Applebee's. That was the only thing you ate all day, and it was a salad, so that can't be that bad. But if you actually look at the calorie content in that salad, and this is not a real salad I'm making up, by the way, but when you add things like the ranch and the bacon and the egg, sometimes those salads, those healthy meals, can actually be really caloric, heavily caloric. So even though it was the only thing that you ate all day, you still may be in a calorie surplus or calorie maintenance, which means you're not going to lose weight. On top of that, just because you barely ate anything one day, but then you ate a lot more the next day, it doesn't mean you're going to lose weight. That's the other thing I think people don't understand is they will have one day where maybe they did eat very low calories, but then the next day they ate more than that. And then the next day they ate even more than that. And then maybe the next day they ate low calories again. But at the end of the week, when you look at your calories as a whole throughout the week, you may still not be in a calorie deficit, which means you will not lose weight. It has to be very consistent day to day. So if you're someone who's struggling right now because you think that you barely eat anything, I would urge you to actually really find out how many calories you are eating per day. The most accurate way to do that, I think, is to get a food scale. Do your research. Don't just guess it. Use measuring cups. Use a food log. Don't just try to keep track of it in your head because as humans, we forget things. We're not perfect. And then do it every day for at least a week or two. I guarantee you, when you actually get accurate and real about what you're really taking in, you'll find out why you were barely eating anything and still couldn't lose weight. Lie number 6. I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes, does it? Waiting for the perfect time is a trap because there's always going to be something that comes along that will distract us or take us out of our routine. There's always going to be a birthday party or a vacation where it's like, oh, well, I was doing good for a week, but now this birthday party is coming up. So you know what? I'm going to just have fun this weekend and eat whatever I want. And then I'll start again Monday. And then maybe that works until the next week where there's another event, another holiday, another party. Before you know it, it's been an entire year and all of your I'll start tomorrow never happened, did it? Here's the thing. I know that none of us are perfect. And even when we are on our plan and we're doing really well, some days we're going to have bad days where we overeat and it is what it is. And yes, you know what? Start again tomorrow. Start fresh. But start again tomorrow should not be the ultimate cop out. That should not be just your excuse to, well, I had one French fry. I guess, I messed up. I might as well eat the entire bag of French fries plus some. I'll just start again tomorrow and it will just totally cancel everything out that I've done. That never works. What you need to do is start today. Start small. It's about progress, not perfection. So you do whatever you can with what you have. There's always a small action that you can take that can get you closer to your goals, not farther from them. So no, don't start tomorrow. Start right now. Really, get up right now and do some squats. I'm serious. Get up and do some squats, do some jumping jacks. I don't care where you are. If you're at work, if you're at school, find an excuse to get up right now and do some squats. Or if you're sitting there eating a bag of chips, throw the chips out right now. For real, get up, take that bag of chips that you don't need anyway, put them in the trash. It's one small step towards your goals, towards the body you want. It's making these decisive actions starting right now that shows yourself that you're serious about this. And the more of these actions you take, the more they compound, the more your confidence grows. And before you know it, you'll be a person of action, not the person who just keeps saying, I'll start tomorrow. Lie number 7. Eating healthy is too expensive. I'm sorry, but have you seen the prices of snack foods and fast food lately? I think this is actually a subject worthy of an entire video. Because I don't know about you, but when I go to the store and I see certain packaged foods and processed foods, they're not cheap anymore. On top of that, you're getting half of what the bag promises. You guys know what I mean, right? Where it's a big family size bag, but half of that is just air and you're actually only getting half of the actual product. So they're not cheap. They all add up. But then on top of that, they're not even good for you nutritionally, so they're not satisfying. So yeah, you may think that you're getting a deal on the big family pack of the sugary cereal, but in reality, that sugary cereal doesn't really fill anyone up. You can eat 3 bowls at a time before you actually feel satisfied. So the product goes faster anyway. You're still hungry, so you eat more and more food, which means you have to buy more and more food. So maybe the bag of potatoes is a little more expensive than the bag of potato chips, but you know what? Have you ever tried eating a bag of potatoes? It's hard. You know why it's hard? Because potatoes are whole foods. Potatoes have a lot of actually good nutrients in them. Potatoes are real food as opposed to the potato chips, which are its fried and greasy counterpart. It's easy to eat an entire bag of potato chips in one sitting, isn't it? Not so easy to eat an entire bag of baked potatoes. But just on the subject of things being more expensive or less expensive, I don't know about you, but when I go to the store, the bag of potato chips and the entire bag of potatoes are pretty much the same price. That's why I'm a little confused on this argument of unhealthy foods being less expensive. And when I say eating healthy, I'm not saying that everything has to be fresh and organic from this fancy farmer's market. There are plenty of places where you can buy food in bulk, like Costco is a great example. You can buy frozen or canned veggies, bulk grains. These are things that are healthier for you that are not necessarily expensive. For sure, the lean chicken breast may be a little more expensive than the box of dino nuggets. But when you compare, number one, the actual nutrients of real chicken breast versus the dino chicken nuggets, which are probably not even mostly chicken, probably just fillers and other stuff. Honestly, at the end of the day, I think that it really balances out anyway, budget-wise. And even if your healthy groceries seem like they are less food volume than all your processed stuff, I guarantee you, though, that the healthy food is going to actually keep you satisfied, going to make you healthier and feel better versus all the processed crap, which you're going to end up buying more of anyway because you're not going to feel satisfied and you'll continue to stay addicted and want more and won't lose weight. Lie number 8. I always fail, so why try? Past failures don't define your future. There is this statistic that a lot of fat activists like to bring up a lot, which is that, people who lose the weight, statistically, they always gain it back or they're not successful. And they love to say that, I'm an anomaly because I kept the weight off for over 20 years. I'm the exception, not the rule. But do you want to know why that is? Because I did not grow up in a time of fat activism. I didn't know that statistically, I was supposed to gain the weight back. I had no idea. I never once thought about gaining the weight back. I never once thought it would be a problem. I never once imagined that I would just stop doing what I was doing, stop being healthy, stop caring about my weight. I never once envisioned myself as fat again. And I'm sure in large part that was because it was before social media. There weren't body positive activists and fat activists in my ear saying that, oh, you're just going to gain the weight back again. This is just how your body's supposed to be. That was never in my peripheral. Like I never thought about that once. And I guarantee you that is why I've been able to keep the weight off. Not that I've always been perfect, as many of you know who have been following my content for a while. I continue to put in the hard work and I continue to make mistakes, but it's because of my mindset that I keep coming back successful. I refuse to accept that I'll just be another statistic. Just because that may be true for some people who lose the weight doesn't mean that that's true for me. It's also not an excuse for you to not try. Like, okay, just because Annie over here, she tried to lose weight and she couldn't, what does that mean for you? Oh, because Annie couldn't do it, you can't do it, you shouldn't even try? How silly does that sound? It's like if Annie was having trouble finding a job and you saw that and you were like, oh, well, because Annie can't find a job, I'm not even going to try applying myself. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, so you're willing to risk being homeless, risk not being able to feed yourself, not have a job, just because Annie couldn't find one? I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. But that seems like the same logic that people apply when it comes to trying to lose weight. Or even if you have tried before and then failed, like maybe you did lose weight and then you regained it, just because you failed once before, twice before, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times before, still doesn't mean that you're going to fail the next time. I get that it can be disheartening if this has been your journey so far, but your past does not determine your future. That's something that you have to understand. Your past does not determine your future. If you have failed multiple times in the past, I would urge you to figure out, okay, why did you fail? Was it something you were doing wrong? Did you go too aggressive and then burn out? Were you not aggressive enough? Were you stuck in a bad relationship? Were you stuck in a bad mindset? There are so many reasons as to why you would have failed in the past that have nothing to do with where you are now or where you'll be in the future. And furthermore, if you can figure out what you did wrong in the past, then you know what to fix now in the present. For example, if going low carb last time to lose weight didn't work for you because, yeah, you lost the weight, but then you gained it back as soon as you started eating carbs, well, then don't do the same diet this time in the present. What's that saying? Like doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is insanity? Yeah, try something different. Figure out where you went wrong before and do something different. Almost every success story starts with someone who decided to keep going despite the setbacks and failures. Lie number 9, I need motivation. Here's the thing, motivation is great, but it's fleeting. Discipline is what will get you the results. Discipline is what builds the habits that become your new lifestyle, which leads to your success. I get that motivation is awesome. Motivation is great to start with. And that's why I love giving motivational shorts or giving these motivational videos. And you are welcome to watch them over and over again if you need a little kick in the ass. But the thing is, you can watch these videos like mine a million times over. But at the end of the day, that motivation is only going to last so long. If you rely solely on motivation all the time, then you're not going to get very far. Because being motivated might keep you going for like a few days, a week even. But there will come a time where you wake up and you're tired or you're bored, and you don't feel like going to the gym, or you don't feel like eating healthy. So you skip the gym. You eat the French fries instead of the salad. And then guess what? You're back in your old habits again. You do what you feel like doing in the moment instead of doing what you know you need to do. And that's where discipline comes in. Discipline is like a muscle that you need to build that gets stronger over time. And the way it gets stronger is by you showing up and doing what you need to do. So if you woke up today and you feel kind of tired, you feel kind of lazy, and you know what? You would rather just go hang out with your friends or go to the movies instead of get up and do that 30-minute workout you said you were going to do. That's your first test. Your feelings will tell you to skip the workout and go to the movies. But discipline will tell you to cut the crap, put on your workout clothes, and do that 30-minute workout. Do what you said you were going to do. This is what builds discipline. This is what builds resilience. This is what is going to build the habits and a lifestyle that is going to make you successful in losing weight and keeping it off. So it's time you toughen up a little bit. Do what you need to do. Do what you said you were going to do. You don't need motivation all the time. You just need discipline. And finally, lie number 10. But I deserve to treat myself. Treating yourself every now and then is awesome, but not at the expense of your goals. And also, why do you deserve to treat yourself? Really, ask yourself that question. If you right now are struggling with weight loss, you are overweight or you're obese, and you've been overweight or obese for a long time, then it sounds like you've had plenty of treats. It sounds like you've never had a problem treating yourself. And if that sounds harsh, good. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. This is coming from someone who has been where you are right now. My entire childhood, okay, as an obese kid and teen, was treating myself whenever I wanted. There were no restrictions whatsoever. If I wanted an entire pizza, I could eat an entire pizza, and I would. I would eat the entire pizza and then some. So imagine someone like me with those eating habits who a week into my weight loss was like, well, I ate a salad yesterday, so I deserve to treat myself because it's been so long since I had pizza and ice cream and just ate it all in one sitting. I had years of eating like that. I had years of eating uncontrollably. So why after just 1 week, 1 month, do I deserve to treat myself? Furthermore, why is it treating ourselves to eat things that are not good for us, to eat things that are actively contributing to our poor health? Why is it that treating ourselves has to be food at all? Why can't treating yourself mean a new workout outfit? Okay, signing up for a new workout class, buying some new workout equipment. Sometimes treating yourself ultimately just becomes self-sabotage. And if you get into that mindset that, oh, I've been good for a week, I've been good for a whole month, I deserve to eat this entire Sunday all by myself, then that's the mindset that's keeping you fat. That's the mindset that keeps pulling you back to your old habits, to where you were before. Yes, you can eat a Sunday every once in a while. I'm not saying that you can never have these things once in a while. Food is fun. Food is meant to be enjoyed. But get out of this mindset of like deserving it. What you really deserve is a healthy body, a healthy mind. What you really deserve is the life of your dreams, not the one you're stuck in currently. So if you want to lose weight, if you're tired of being fat, then stop lying to yourself. Cut the crap and be honest. And if you need more help with that, then check out my book, 1 Year, 100 Pounds. It is both a tough love weight loss guide for how you can also lose weight, as well as my story of how I lost 100 pounds at 14 years old. I also have my 1 Year New You guided weight loss journals, which are formatted after the exact same journaling method that I used to lose 100 pounds and still use today. And don't forget to check out the Simple app. If you need some extra guidance in your weight loss journey, check out the links below and use my code Whitney for 80% off your personalized plan. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.